Thanks for joining us for an Every Nation Sunday sermon. This message is from our Hammersmith congregation. For more information on our church, or to see how you can be involved, please visit everynation.co.uk.
This is a big moment for me, not just because I've got an opportunity to speak, but it's my first ever time wearing a Britney mic. And, well, I actually, most of my childhood and teenage years, I wanted to be a pop star. So actually, this is a bit of a dream come true for me today. Youth worker was the closest the job centre would give me. So my verse this morning is Romans 12, verse 9. Love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good. If you've been here the last few weeks, you will have hopefully been accustomed to our open theme that we are going through this word that we feel has been spoken over our church for the next year. And when Wolfie came and asked the staff to come up with, or to find, rather, an open verse for ourselves, I felt for this year it was important that I found a verse about love. And so as I looked through, was looking at different verses about love, this is the one that stuck out the most to me. And the reason it's my open verse is not because the word open is in it, because, well, it's not, but rather that I felt God was challenging me to be open to these words and to let these words do something in me this year. So just from the start to say, I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm not talking about loving our neighbor or loving our enemies. I want to particularly focus on what this verse means in loving our friends. And that's the challenge that I feel this year. So love must be sincere. How do we love our friends with sincerity? And I want to talk about a barrier that stops us from loving our friends with sincerity. So the example that I want to use today might sound a bit strange to be using in church, but I think it's an important one. And especially this day and age, I think it's actually vital. I want to talk about our phones. I think, for me, this has been a struggle, probably ever since I had my first smartphone. I don't know if you've ever gone out for dinner or out to a cafe for a coffee with a friend, and you sit down at the table, and the first thing that happens is their phone is on the table in between you, just sitting there, kind of, that's me, that's the friend I've been to many, many people. A couple of my friends in here today from Scotland have come down for the weekend, and they'll tell you probably, I can be a bit absent-minded sometimes. And you know what? It's not just my generation. I'm 24. It's not just my generation that struggle with this. I've seen young children struggle with their phones, and even people in their 80s. I mean, my grandmother is almost 90, and she's on Facebook. She likes my posts, and it's the most endearing thing ever. She's so cool, you should add her. Nanny, if you're watching this on Facebook later, I love you. But I say I'm your friend, and I say that I care about you, and I say that I love you. But yeah, I'm not willing to just keep my phone in my pocket and just keep that distraction away so that I can fully focus on you and what we're talking about. There was a study done a few years ago where they took pairs of strangers and they spent 10 minutes speaking about moderately intimate topics. And this is just an excerpt from that research. The strangers left their own belongings in a waiting area and proceeded to a private booth. Within the booth, they found two chairs facing each other, and a few feet away, out of their direct line of vision, there was a desk that held a book and one other item. Unbeknownst to the pair, the key difference in their discussion with a nondescript... The key difference in their interactions would be the second item on the desk. Some pairs engaged in their discussion with a cell phone nearby, whereas others, there was a notebook. After they finished the discussion, each of the strangers completed questionnaires about the relationship quality, connectedness, and feelings of closeness they'd experienced. The pairs who chatted in the presence of the cell phone reported lower relationship quality and less closeness. It's not just when it's in front of us. It's even when it's in the room. That is what's actually happening in our world, that these little things of technology are playing this game almost in our minds. Now, hold on one second. Oh, you up to just speaking at church. What about you? Sorry, 2 seconds. Instagram. 22 likes. That's good days. 55 yesterday. Sorry about that. That just wouldn't be right, would it? I mean, if Dan or Wolfie did that on a Sunday morning when they're preaching their full sermon, they just start chatting to their friends, Wolfie back in South Africa chatting to his mom. I mean, it wouldn't be appropriate. And I don't think it's appropriate in smaller settings either with our friends. I don't think that I just don't. It's something that I feel convicted about, and that's why I'm sharing this. That kind of interaction makes people feel disrespected instead of loved. Second to our phone, not the full focus of our attention. Love must be sincere. What would it look like if love wasn't diluted by the 500, 1,000, 5,000 friends, however many we have on social media? Come with us everywhere we go, to every meeting we have, to every friend that we speak to. Hate what is evil. What would love look like without the things that distract us from the physical, real, present friendship at hand? Cling to what is good. Honest, faithful, present friendship. The love that we emanate, that we give to our friends, should be fully self-giving, sacrificial, and genuine. Never seeking what we might get, but only seeking to see how much we can possibly give. And I believe that's true for all areas of love. But you know what's really sad? The way that we treat our friends, not giving them our full attention, neglecting proper engagement, and allowing distraction. What's really sad about this is exactly how we treat our best friend of all. This is exactly how we treat the one who gave us absolutely everything. The one who desires our attention, our love, our time more than anyone or anything in this universe. Our friend that was crucified, buried, and raised to life and will come again. We do the exact same thing to Jesus. The exact same thing. We let life get so incredibly busy that we don't have time to even think about God sometimes, let alone spend quality time. And then when we do have spare time, we spend it playing Candy Crush. I mean, can you imagine how much time we would spend praying if we, swapped out playing with our phones on the toilet to, just praying? I mean, speaking for myself here, my prayer life would skyrocket. Speak to anybody in the church office, they will tell you how much time I spend in the bathroom. And it's not because of a stomach issue. It's a phone issue. And so I'll be sitting there editing pictures and messaging people on WhatsApp for 20 minutes without even realizing. My old boss bought me a little fishing pond for our bathroom. Anyway, I recently saw a post on Facebook, actually, that there was a picture of this bathroom and all the tiles on the floor. And the caption said, "Sat down on the toilet and realized I forgot my phone. I can now tell you exactly how many tiles there are in this bathroom." It's like we've developed a need to be constantly doing something in our faces. C.S. Lewis writes in the Screwtape Letters about how the enemy's job is to keep us overwhelmed, distracted, and so busy that we don't have time for God. What would our relationships with God look like if we removed the biggest distractions that get in the way? Practically, what can we do then? I think we need to look at what it is for us. For me, it's my phone. I'm not saying that's the case for everybody. It's probably the thing, every time I say distraction, it's probably the thing that's coming into your head. If we want to love sincerely, whether it's our friends, whether it's God, then I think we need to destroy our distractions. For me, it's my phone. What's it going to be for you? Thank you.